Hi, I'm Dr. Robin Alter, and I'm a child psychologist and a volunteer with the Psychology Foundation of Canada. In this webcast, we're going to talk about stress and the impact it can have on school-age children. We'll also share with you some simple and effective techniques and tools you can use with the children you work with. The Kids Have Stress Too is a program of the Psychology Foundation of Canada designed to help parents, caregivers, and educators become more aware of children's stress and to help children develop effective ways of dealing with stress. With the help of a range of educators from across the country, we now have a Kids Have Stress Too programs for grades 1 to 3. We have also worked with a partner to create a similar program for grades 4 to 6, classrooms called Stress Lessons. The materials and resources for both these programs will be available on the Psychology Foundation website and www.morethanmedication.ca. We hear a lot about the impact of stress on our health and well-being, on our productivity, and our ability to focus and cope. But what about kids? Why should we worry about the impact stress has on them? Do they really experience stress like adults do? Although the things that stress us out may be different, research shows that all of us, even infants, experience stress, and that the stress response is universal. We also know that a child's ability to cope with stress in the early years has consequences for physical and emotional health throughout life. Stress interferes with our ability to focus and think. Children dealing with too much stress, who don't have effective coping strategies, can experience problems ranging from poor health to difficulty in relationships and difficulty with learning. When adults are stressed, they usually know it. When children are stressed, they think, maybe this is the way life is supposed to be. School can be a stressful place for students and educators alike. All the different demands and expectations to achieve academically, socially, and in extracurricular activities can sometimes be overwhelming. Stress-related problems affect students' performance in school, and many stressors are related to the school environment. If students are afraid or anxious, they may spend so much energy worrying that they are unable to learn. By helping children learn positive coping strategies to deal with stress, we can help build their resiliency and prevent stress from escalating to distress and anxiety and meltdowns. Coping effectively with stress helps also children learn self-regulation, a concept we're hearing more and more about in educational settings, which we'll explore a little later. Before we get into the content of the programs, let's take a step back and look at the concept of stress. So, what is stress? Stress is a normal, everyday occurrence. It's our body's response to feeling afraid, overworked, overstimulated, threatened, or even excited. Stress is a part of everyday life, and we all experience and react to it in different ways. We tend to think of stress as a bad thing, but a certain amount of it actually helps us feel alert, energized, and interested in life. We need to experience some stress to learn how to deal with it, and thus develop coping strategies. Too much stress, however, particularly when we don't have any control over it, or when we don't have the coping strategies to deal with it, can interfere with our ability to respond to everyday challenges and causes problems in our relationships. Unhealthy responses to stress can affect our happiness and success, our ability to bounce back after troubled times, our health, and ultimately our longevity. All children experience some stress. Stress is a part of normal development, and learning to deal with stress is a key part of development. Stress overload, meaning more stress than we can cope with, can lead to feelings of insecurity and helplessness and can have a negative impact on a child's life. We know that stress refers to the way we respond to the demands that come from our environment and relationships with others. These demands, known as stressors, can have a significant impact on how a child learns and behaves in school. Some stressors in a child's life may take the form of daily hassles that are typically short-lived. Things like having to separate from parents, adjusting to a new classroom schedule, meeting new people, or feeling pressure to do well on a test. Some students may show their stress by crying or whining, withdrawing, or acting out for a brief period before settling down into the school routine. Other stressors may be more serious or last longer, such as having problems getting along with other students, often being hungry or tired, feeling uncomfortable performing in front of others, or having an overly busy schedule. Some young students may be coping with serious stressors that can last a very long time. Examples of chronic stressors include parental conflict, separation or divorce, a serious illness or health condition, being bullied or harassed, or dealing with unrealistic expectations and demands of one's own or from others, including parents and teachers. Children faced with these and other chronic challenges may withdraw, act out, or in other ways demonstrate difficulties in learning new skills, processing information, solving problems, and building and maintaining healthy relationships with others. Difficult or annoying behavior is what we notice in children because it is visible and it often requires a response. But it's important to look beyond the behavior and understand that many things may be happening inside the child that are causing them to act that way. Some children may get labeled a pain in the neck or even a bad kid. But keep in mind that a child's behavior is simply their language for expressing how they are feeling. If they are throwing things or disrupting other students, they may be responding to something in their home life or elsewhere that's causing them stress. Sometimes a child's stress response system can also be activated at lower levels by a series of frustrations, fatigue, teasing, embarrassment, being annoyed, even sensory overstimulation from background noise in a classroom.